And welcome everybody, Prophecy in the Spotlight. I'm your host, Brother Dan Goodwin. My co-host, Dr. Charles Hilton, with you today for this little preview about the coming program this week. Doc, we're going to talk about a chapter in my book, The Mystery of the Jubilee.
Interesting information.
Yeah, the 2,520 days
Yes, sir.
in the Bible. And this is something that's, I think most people don't understand.
Right.
I was talking to a preacher recently, and he just flipped out when I was explaining this to him. And he was asking me questions, and we were going back and forth. And I'll be honest, I'm not a date setter, but I have a date that we're going to share in the program this week. I'm not joking. We're going to share a date. And but I haven't sold my insurance, haven't sold my house, I haven't. I always have a date. I always have some dates that I think would be a good date.
You could have a date, but you're really nobody but God knows what year it really is.
You know, and you know what? I say this in one of my books. I forget which one it was. I said, it's the 7 Clocks book, and I have a little thing that says, everyone in the last 6,000 years who has set a date has been wrong.
Right.
Now that's profound. So what's the moral of the story? Don't try to set a date.
Don't do it.
However, we look at things, and I mean, we all can come up with some seasons and some feast days that maybe look like a good time for the rapture.
Sure.
And I've got one of them, and we'll share it in the program, real carefully. But it has to do with this 2520, the 2520 days here. Let me read a little bit here. Several years ago, while studying prophecy, actually it was about 2014 when I wrote the God's Final Jubilee book. That's the first time I wrote about this. I've learned a little more since then. But while studying prophecy, I discovered that Daniel's 70th week, the 7-year tribulation, is not actually measured in years, but in months and days. After more research, I found that apart from Daniel 9 calling them weeks of years, the tribulation is always referred to in either months or days.
True.
And of course, it's in 2 halves. And
yes,
our calendar's a mess. We got a 365 and a 4th day year, a solar year. The Jews have a lunar calendar. They're like 29 point something days in a month.
254 days or so a year.
Yeah, I think it's 354 and 354 and 2/3 or something like that. Yep. Yeah. So, of course, that's all fixed with computers today. In Bible days, it was fixed by the barley harvest.
Right.
And the declaring of Abib would reset their calendar every year. Pretty interesting. So in the show, we're going to talk about, in fact, I'm going to let you ask me some things to get us going on our topics in the show. So we'll do that. So folks, we're going to talk about my chapter, the mystery of the 2520 days. We're going to talk about that in this week's program that you can watch on CTN at 7 p.m. every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. But of course, it's also right here on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button down there. And make sure if you like what you see here, you share this with your friends and get them watching, okay? And all right, until the show begins in a few days here, keep your eyes on the skies.